Hello again, this is Mr. Ford, and today we're just going to finish up with the fractions unit in the basic numeracy pack. Now, this is a shorter pack, so it should allow you to be able to focus on some of the other units from previously. So, some of you expressing or interpreting data, or even allow you to focus on some specific numeracy strategy that you'll need for your subject. Now, we will continue to go through other topics such as scatter graphs, standard deviation, averages, dispersion in future videos. So we're just going to go through fractions. Now, we've been dealing with fractions since primary school. So there's not a lot here to do, but it's just to recap that we are very solid with our fractions work. So a fraction, what is a fraction? A fraction is just how we express an amount. So we've got the specific amount on the top over the actual total amount. Now, this is actually very related to both percentages because that's how we do it. We will be doing division when we do percentages. And really, fractions, this division sign is basically just a small fraction. If you look on the left-hand side, this division sign, it's actually a fraction where we're missing the number on top, the number we put in for the specific amount, and we're missing the number at bottom, our total amount. Sometimes you might be asked to find out a specific amount as well. So say that I had a total, say I've got 200 people, and I wanted to find out what half of that is. I would just do half, 1 over 2, times the total, and that will give me my expected amount. But fractions, we've done so much practice throughout the years. If there isn't anything, you can come and always see me, but let's go through this. So this is the same questions from previously. A psychologist was interested to find out how many people use their mobile phones in public places. So for 3 weekends, she and 2 others carried out the observational study in a large shopping center. Each time a passerby was seen using a mobile phone, an entry was made, and the following results were given. Now, instead of a ratio, we want to write it as a fraction. What was the proportion of men that were surveyed? So in this case, we want to find out the proportion of men out of everybody. So we want to put 140 on top because that's the proportion of men divided by the total. So what's our total amount? So we had 350 women and 140 men. So we do 350 plus 140, which gives us 490. So we have 490. Now, I could show you ways to do it, but you've all got calculators. So if you actually get your calculator and you type that in, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can type it in as you'll all know how to use, I'm hoping you'll know how to use the fractions button. You can also just do 140 divided by 490. Now, there's 2 options. It'll either tell you a fraction or it will tell you a number with a decimal, lots of decimal places. If it tells you lots of decimal places, there's a button that you want to press that looks like this here. And what it will do is it'll put it, if it's a decimal, it'll put it into a fraction, and if it's a fraction, it'll put it into a decimal, and you get the answer 2 over 7. Now, if we bring this back to ratios, if you remember our ratio for men to women was 2 is to 5, this makes a lot of sense. So we had 2 men, so that's on the top, and the total number of parts, if we count 2 plus 5 is 7, so that's exactly the same as our previous work on ratios, but it's just expressed in a different form where we've got the total on the bottom. You probably noticed already that we know what the next answer is going to be, but let's go through the work. What is the fraction of women that use their phones to take a selfie? So this time we want to look at the fraction of women that use their phones to take a selfie. So this is interesting because we don't know, are we doing this out of just women and men? But what is the fraction of women? We're going to do it out of the total number of women on the bottom. And we want on the top, we're going to have women that took a selfie. Okay, so how many women took a selfie? We had 45. How many women all up? We had 350. Type that into your calculator. Now, mine's going to tell me, because I've got one of the older ones, it tells me a decimal. So when I do it, it's going to go 0.12857. I don't want it as decimal, as a fraction. So I press that button, and it pops out, and it tells me 9/70. It does it in simplest form, and you can leave it like that. Last question here. If 1/6 of the women who use their phone to talk were using AirPods, how many women were not using AirPods? So there's two ways we can do it. Now I'm going to show you the nice, easy way that uses what we have. Okay? So let's find out what 1/6. So if 1/6 of the women who use their phone to talk were using AirPods. So if we do this way, so 1/6 of, of women who use their phone to talk, women who use their phone to talk is 240. So 1/6 of 240. Remember, of is the same as times. So I'm going to do 1/6 times 240. Type that into my calculator. You should know that you get 40. So if there's 40 women who use their AirPods, how many women were not? All right, how many women are not? So if that's what that is, if we want to know not, that's the other side. So there's 40 there. The rest, so we want to do 240 minus 40 to find out who weren't, which is 200 women. Okay, so this is the nicest and easiest way, and you can do it with other ways, but this is one way that you can all use, and you need just as you need. Okay, there's a couple of questions there for you to try this out. Again, once you've finished, I want you to maybe work on the stuff that you've got from previous lessons, but I hope you find this nice and easily and informing. Thank you.